A major breakthrough has been recorded in the investigation into the adoption of Gateway ICT Polytechnic students in Ogun State, with the Nigerian police force confirming that 3 suspected kidnappers were killed during a gun battle with security operatives. The development comes days after the students were rescued following an intensive operation involving multiple security agencies. The latest operation suggests that the security agencies did not stop at rescuing the victims. Investigators and tactical teams continue tracking the criminal network allegedly responsible for the adoption, eventually locating the suspects at a hideout. So, how did the operation unfold? And what does the latest security action tell us about the growing pressure on kidnapping gangs operating in Ogun State? The first public relations officer, CSP Annie Iniedu, confirmed the development in a statement highlighting recent police operational success across the country. According to the police, the operation followed the rescue of the Gateway ICT Polytechnic students who had been adopted around Ipara in Ogun State. The police said anti-kidnapping operative working alongside officers of the Department of State Services continued their pursuit of the kidnappers after the victims were freed. Security operatives eventually traced the suspects to their hideouts. What happened next was a confrontation. The police said the operatives stormed the location and engaged the suspected kidnappers in a gun battle. During the exchange of gunfire, 3 suspected kidnappers were neutralized, while other members of the group reportedly escaped with gunshot injuries.
We rescued 5 at the early hours of the day, and we handed them over to their respective families. We reunited them, but before then we took them for medical treatment to police medical services. And early hour to the helicopter with the ground forces stormed the kidnappers den and also rescued the remaining 2 victims. And thereafter, we have successfully arrested 2 of the kidnappers as we speak.
The police spokesperson said the operation resulted in the recovery of an AK-47 rifle, an empty magazine, 3 mobile phones, and 2.3 million in cash. Those recoveries could become more important pieces of evidence as investigators attempt to establish the identity of the suspects and determine their alleged roles in the kidnapping operation. The police have also commenced further investigation through the State Criminal Investigation Department. This means investigators are likely to examine the recovered funds, trace financial transactions, and gather other intelligence that could help identify members of the wider network. The development comes after a major security operation that resulted in the rescue of the adopted students. The kidnapping had generated widespread concern in Ogun State, particularly among parents, students, and residents around the Gateway ICT Polytechnic community. The incident also prompted a large-scale mobilization of security personnel. Governor Dapo Abiodun had earlier said that the operation involved the Nigerian police force, the armed forces, the Department of State Services, the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, the Ogun State Security Network Agency, commonly known as the Amontekun Corps, local vigilantes, and hunters. The governor also disclosed that the operation received additional support from the Nigerian police force after Inspector General of Police Olatunji Disu approved the development of a police helicopter for aerial surveillance. That area component was considered important because the suspects were believed to have moved into difficult terrain where ground forces could face challenges locating them. The combination of aerial surveillance, intelligence gathering, and ground operations eventually helped security personnel locate the victims and maintain pressure on the kidnappers. The latest gun battle indicates that the operation did not end with the rescue of the students. Instead,
God.
what happened?
Wait.
Okay.
Go.
The latest gun battle indicates that the operation did not end with the rescue of the students. Instead, security agencies continue pursuing the alleged perpetrators, and that raises an important question. Could the latest arrest, recoveries, and deaths help dismantle the larger kidnapping network operating in the area? The answer will depend heavily on what investigators uncover from the suspects who escaped and from the evidence recovered at the hideouts. The 3 suspects who were killed cannot be questioned, but their alleged associates who escaped with gunshot wounds could potentially become the focus of the next phase of the investigation. Police may also rely on the recovered mobile phones to identify contacts, locations, and communication patterns that could lead investigators to other members of the network. The 2.3 million recovered during the operation could also become relevant in the investigation if authorities are able to establish its source and intended purpose. Kidnapping networks often depend on logistics, communication, transportation, and financial arrangements. Tracking those links can sometimes expose a much larger criminal structure beyond the individuals directly involved in adopting victims. But there is also an important point that should not be overlooked. The killing of suspected kidnappers during security operations may provide an immediate tactical victory, but the longer-term challenge remains preventing new groups from emerging. Security agencies must therefore combine enforcement with intelligence gathering, community cooperation, and stronger protection around vulnerable communities. For residents of Ogun State, the latest developments will come as a measure of relief after the fear generated by the students' adoption. The rescue of the students demonstrated the importance of coordinated security operations, while the subsequent confrontation with the alleged kidnappers shows that authorities are attempting to pursue the perpetrators beyond simply recovering victims. Governor Dapo Abiodun had warned that kidnappers and other criminal elements would have no hiding place in Ogun State. The latest operation appears to reinforce that message. At the same time, residents are being encouraged to provide credible information to security agencies, particularly information that could help authorities identify criminal hideouts and prevent future attacks. The police have not disclosed the identities of the 3 suspects killed in the gun battle, nor have they provided details about the number of kidnappers who escaped. It is also not yet clear how many other suspects investigators believe are connected to the operation. Those details could emerge as the State Criminal Investigation Department continues its investigation. What is already clear is that the security operation has moved into a new phase. The victims have been rescued. 3 suspected kidnappers have been killed. Weapons and other items have been recovered, and investigators are now trying to follow the evidence to whoever else may have been involved. The real test will be whether this operation leads to the dismantling of the wider kidnapping network and whether similar attacks can be prevented in the future. For the families of the rescued students, the most important development is that their loved ones are alive and back home. For security agencies, the task now is much bigger. Identify the remaining members of the criminal network, bring those responsible to justice, and prevent another group from taking their place. If you find this report informative, share it with others, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more major security and crime updates from Nigeria. I'm Chidera Isom. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next reports.